So next, I have the pleasure of introducing you to Dr. Ryan Harari, who is a research scientist at Harvard Medical School and faculty member at Mass General Brigham's Department of Emergency Medicine. He has a multidisciplinary academic background that includes a PhD in systems engineering and dual master's degrees in computer sciences and cognitive engineering. His work has taken him through AI, AR, and VR-based clinical decision support systems with funding from everything from NASA, the NIH, the DoD, and the NSF to create these spaces in some of the most demanding clinical and non-clinical, in fact, military environments. His overarching mission is to create safer and more effective healthcare systems through the design and validation of intelligent clinical competency assessment and decision support applications. So just to give you a flavor of his current projects, he is working on an AR-based smart system for traumatic brain injury management in low resource settings. So I'm very excited for his talk sharing real-world clinical scenarios and the promise of augmented reality within them. Dr. Harari.
You didn't get the mic. What's he asking for? What do you?
So, super excited to be here. And on my way back to here, when I was in Uber, I saw the sign of Hollywood, and it was an interesting coincidence for myself to seeing how interestingly we are living in a birthplace of Hollywood movie, many science fiction, that all of holographic information in science fiction movies were there. And we are living in an amazing moment in the history of humankind. The way science fiction holographic displays are finding their own way for our own healthcare system, right? And today I want to talk about some of real-world scenarios and how artificial intelligence and augmented reality are merging together to create a better clinical support system for our clinician. And the kind of support that is changing the face of medicine as we know it. So, and I'm keeping the agenda simple. I'll talk about four real-world scenarios, and then I will talk about some of the opportunities and challenge in this area. So let us start with some of the most simplest tools that we have in our healthcare system. Dr. Atul Gawande, in his book, Checklist Manifesto, brought a lot of interesting evidence that how this simple yet effective tool in healthcare is saving life from aviation to healthcare. And even in their study in Brigham Women's Hospital, they studied how using the checklist, like simple checklist for providing the decision support or managing the crisis scenarios in OR are really significantly reducing the level of failure to adhere for gold standard protocol that is established previously. But the problem here is that we all know, not many people are using checklists, right? And when people, we ask clinicians, why you don't use checklists? Sometimes, people say because they have overconfidence. But also there is another side of that. Because checklists are inherently limited to be used. Imagine a scenario in war that some war crisis happened, and then the surgeon asks, can you pull up that checklist for myself, and I want to see what is the next step? It's not very realistic to be used, right? As a computer scientist, I was thinking, our team and I were thinking about, can we extend the idea that Dr. Gawande mentioned about immersifying the checklist manifesto in one of the hardest moments in healthcare setting in OR in crisis to save lives. And that was an inspiration that we extended that idea that Dr. Guanda and team created, and then we created augmented reality-based checklist, which projecting the critical information of OR management crisis scenarios, and then it was augmented by AI that is provided natural language processing for speech detection, voice recognition, and also hand gesture detection for seamless interaction with the checklist. And we also did this study extending the original study by Dr. Guanda of comparing checklists that is based on AR and paper-based and even no checklist. And the interesting finding is that the AR-based checklist even was more effective than paper-based when it comes to reducing the level of failure for adherence to crisis management protocol, which is a very interesting finding. And it's not about just this study. Many other studies can actually be done for evaluating this kind of finding. But that is very interesting perspective of how really AR augmented with artificial intelligence have the power to change the face of OR. Of course, we all know that, like, nobody is going to right now use that bulky augmented reality system because they are not yet really seamless to be used, but we are living in a really interesting moment. These are all just a stepping stone. We will soon, hopefully, have some much more compact, much more lighter AR system, AR glasses that is a part of our daily life every day. It's not just about healthcare. Once the time that comes with it, we interact with our message or like contacting with our friend on Facebook and Instagram in our goggle, it's very likely to have that goggle also be part of our healthcare system. It's very likely to even be incorporated in OR in real time, not in a simulated scenario. So it's not just also is about OR in crisis. Sometimes it also can be image-guided system. For example, this is a work that is published with Yukon Health System that is showing how image-guided surgery based on augmented reality, which project the real-time information, 3D reconstructed data from the image for helping the surgeon of performing the surgery better. And it's not just about providing a digital information overlaid for them, for helping them to make a better decision. It's also about creation of a superior situational awareness for all team members, which it wasn't possible before, because everybody now knows what is going on each steps of the surgery, and they can actually have a shared understanding of what's going on there, which is not possible in the past. And when we talk about AR, the AR is a part of interface. We need to peel it off to see what's going on at the back of such kind of support, image-guided support, which is powered with the powerhouse of AI. For example, the deep learning, the neural network, and many other algorithms are here to really provide that accuracy of decision for providing image information, helping helping the surgeon to know what's going on exactly there. And also, it's about rendering, 3D reconstruction. That's why we see the battle in GPU. That's why we see everybody here, over there, are talking about NVIDIA stock, right? And why is that? Because that little piece of the computation processors are really the powerhouse, the brain of how AI works and how rendering happens. And it's just it's about matrix implication, matrix multiplication, with GPU is doing that better than CPU. So, and that's why we see Apple is leading, is the flagship of this product that came earlier this year. And it's a really interesting moment. It's signaling all of us to see when Apple, such a huge industry leader, enters to this industry, it means a lot. It means that tech giants have decided to change the way we will interact in future with the technology, no longer 2D. It's a part of our life in future. And maybe you will surprise why it's almost $4K, $4,000 for such a system. But when you open the curtain, at the back of the curtain, you will see why. There are many, many pieces of small hardware and software come together to create this blend of masterpiece. And that is why we see future of OR can actually be changed a lot for image guided, for managing crisis. And also, it's not just about OR, it actually can go beyond of the operating room, even for supporting people who are dealing with one of the most basic, or let's say, like CPR, right? For example, in like CPR is a striking statistic. 360,000 people are affected by sudden cardiac arrest. And guess what? More than 70% of Americans even don't know how to do CPR. So question here is that, can we leverage such a technology, which we are living in a stepping stone, but in future we will have a lot more ubiquitous part of this technology in our life. Can we really have this technology works for saving life for CPR? And to answer this, I want to share a video that is published with Philips that is led by Dr. Gupta for creating an AI-enhanced system for performing CPR. So just take a pause and see this video, how AI is enhancing the way we support the clinical information for non-clinical people. So this is AR as an interface, but the way that is empowered is based on real-time object detection, providing a step-by-step guidance system for dynamically updating feedback and following the protocol. So, and even it has physiological integration, physiological data integration for augmented reality. So that is a very interesting example of how we can support non-clinician people of how in performing in our daily life when we are hitting. And I'm specifically interested in with this, and I really resonate with this because I lost my mother-in-law because of such a tragedy for heart attack, and because nobody was over there to save her life, we lost her, and it can happen for everybody of us. And so knowing that such technology really can be used for future is a very interesting application for this. And also it can go beyond can you just reduce the audio? Sorry. So it can go beyond of uh, the operating room CPR. It can actually go for telemedicine. For example, here is a team of surgical team in China that is performing surgery that is augmented using augmented reality and AI and robots for performing a surgery. A patient is 30 miles away from the operating side, so from the surgical team. And they are connected in 5G internet for providing that information in real time. And also, it can go beyond of that just robot-assisted surgery. It can go for providing the information for telementoring in surgery, and it can actually go beyond of that, beyond of our imagination, for supporting clinician on performing point-of-care ultrasound and imaging modality, and even for a space. Sometimes astronauts go to a space and stay more than 3 years in a space station, and there is no support for them. Sometimes there are, but very limited. And the idea that we were working with NASA, collaborating with them to create a system for helping astronauts on performing point-of-care ultrasound. And this is the video of a system that we created for them that is running. On the left panel, you see the person that has the AR, and on the right panel, you will see what the person is seeing in augmented reality. And there are 3 components are here: vital sign integration, AI-enhanced ultrasound image enhanced that is helping the clinician or even non-clinician to understand what's going on there. So, and conversational virtual coach that is helping a step by step of how to perform the procedure for the patient and saving $1 billion project when some emergency happen for NASA. So I talked about some of real world scenarios, but I like to also talk about some of the opportunities and challenges that we might interact here. There are 3 important components here, the challenge and opportunity related for hardware, software, and people. About hardware, as Dr. Spiegel earlier mentioned about, like Ivan Zuckerberg was the person who created first augmented reality, like not years ago, but decades ago in 1962. So that is the video that showed the holographic information projected in the augmented reality system. And we have come very long way by having such a piece of art to be created iteratively. And we have Apple, we have Magic Leap, we have Xreal, that now is going more and more to create much more compact system, leveraging the science and technology development in optical system and photonic system that is leveraged by AR for creating much more lightweight system. So here when we talk about clinical decision support, we always think about, okay, AR, augmented reality, right? Or maybe it can actually for simulation for virtual reality. And then when we talk about the peeling of the skin, we see that there are a lot of layers behind of this. For searching, analyzing, sharing, and storing and capturing, most of the things or heavy lifting jobs are done with AI, which is very important to know. That's why a future of clinical decision support system, there is no way that we don't incorporate AI as a part of artificial intelligence, as a part of augmented reality system. The other component that now we also need to consider is that we are living in a predictive and generative AI. And since November 2022, we have seen how ChatGPT is there, and many people are using this for their daily life, and also in healthcare. It has been used with many tools like Bloom, GPT, and many other tools for medical imaging, drug discovery, personalized medicine, and public health management, and many other things for dealing with unstructured data that doctors are getting from the patient and structurizing this data for getting the insights from them. But we all know that, at least now, this is not an easy plug-and-play system. How many times you found yourself that you are dealing with ChatGPT to perfectizing your text, but at the end you realize that the amount of time that I spent to create my text, to really edit my time, is more than the time that I was battling with ChatGPT. You're stupid, why you are dealing with that? Why? So what is the relevance of this text? I said, you should do this, and the ChatGPT is stubbornly saying no, again, creating some content that you don't like. But it doesn't have to stay like this. It will change, and this is just a starting. Like, you can imagine, like, it's less than a year that we have, like, a year and a few months, right? We have ChatGPT, and then such a large language model system is going to really change the face that we will interact with future of technology. But there's another piece that, at least in healthcare, that matters a lot, is black box nature of the AI, right? One of the most important concepts of AI in healthcare is that clinician may, even you may wonder, when the AI is helping for providing a decision or helping me to know what's going on, there is a concept of black box. I don't know how AI came to that decision. I don't know why that decision is here. That's why explainability, or making the black box more like white box, matters a lot. That's why there's a big community in research that is working explainability AI by providing some explanation that matters a lot for crystallizing the decision that come from AI. And it's ongoing research as well. For example, in one of our recent research, we provided 3 levels of explanation that is projected for in augmented reality, helping clinician to make a decision on a TE imaging. And then we created 3 levels of explanation just as a labeling, and another explanation was labeling and segmentation, and labeling and segmentation plus explanation, like detailed explanation. The explanation that was the more clarity in the explanation was the people had accurate decision, higher accuracy in decision making. But the problem is that it took longer for them to make that decision. So it's a balance. We don't know yet. There are a lot of unanswered research questions here. And the other part that we also realized is that one of the participants mentioned that for augmented reality, it's cool, but it can be distracting. Maybe you will hear this statement later from patient or other clinicians about AR, is that I guess I need to get used to it. It's a double-edged sword, innovative, but needs getting used to it. And that's why there are a lot of iteration in augmented reality need to be incorporated in clinical decision support. And finally, I want to wrap up this talk with a lesson that we can learn from transportation, our Tesla, our self-driving car, which they also learned from aviation. And this video is a shooting that is captured in Massachusetts. The person is driving the Tesla, and it's not clear for how many minutes or even maybe hours he has been sleeping. So that's a very interesting reminder for all of us, is that it has happened in aviation, the AI complacency, the AI overtrust. It has happened in transportation, and we all know that it is happening, and it will happen in healthcare. So we always need to think about when it comes to AI, and now decision-making support system and augmented reality and stuff like this. We need to be aware of some of the consequences and calibrating the trust, coming up with a system that works really good, but not creating overtrust to create a complacency like this. It's really, really important that we all, as engineers and clinicians and scientists, need to come together to, when it comes to creating a system, we need to make it iteratively and multidisciplinary. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Can I ask a question? Can I ask a question?
Sure.
Yes, I think it's great. I'm from the Nationwide Children's Hospital in Columbus. I'm great you are using this new technology to develop next generation decision making. But I think you miss something here is when you develop clinical decision making, you also have to involve the patient families and other people in the decision making. Am I right?
Definitely, no. That's a great question and a great insight. Thank you for sharing that. So there are a lot of aspects that we don't know, many of the part, and we are together here. Such a great event that thanks to the organizer to having such a beautiful event to come together, to brainstorm, to do brainstorming, to learn, to see how we can really change the way that we could create a system for simulation, for training, for decision support, and hopefully we can make the future better. Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks,